Hello everybody, welcome back to the stream. How are you doing? So we're going to be working on enemy board inspection, which I've actually already started on a little bit, but I'm going to be doing something a little bit interesting on this stream. But I'll show you the inspection right now. It needs a little bit of work, but I can right click on a combat node and I can actually see the board layout that the enemy is going to have now. So that is just working toward giving the player more information about the combat encounters that they're going to have. So you can inspect the enemy board. Obviously this needs animations and whatnot, but I can see the layout, I can see what all the cards do individually, and hopefully that's going to let me as a player know if a combat is going to be something that I can handle or not. The next piece of information that I want to add to this screen before I start like polishing it up and making it look very nice and all that stuff is I want to add some kind of indicator here that says what this board is going to do over, let's say, like 20 turns or something. So let's say that you bring open this inspection menu and it says over 20 turns, this card will deal, 10 fire, or it will apply 10 fire and then X and Y and Z, all that good stuff, right? So that's what I want to do. I think that's going to be a little bit tricky to do, but hopefully not too bad. Basically what we're going to do is we're just going to simulate combat for 20 turns, and then we should be able to just pull from all the turn history stuff to see what that combat data is. Now there is going to be a couple of tricky things here, because the way that this is working is this is loading up the exact cards that are present for this combat, which means that if I simulate combat here, and let's say that I have cards that grow in strength every execution, I'm going to need to reset that or come up with a cleaner way of like segmenting this part of this combat simulation away from anything that would affect the actual cards that the player encounters. So we're going to see what we can do with that. We're going to see if we can figure that out, and who knows? Who knows what's going to happen, but we'll see. Hello, Clickertail. Welcome back. Hello, Nathan. Good to see you. Wooius. Hello. Hello. Good to see you as well. All right, so let's just see if we can get the combat. Hello, D. Warnock. Welcome, welcome. Both of us stuck in front of our machines, yes. Hello, Rin. Welcome back. So the first thing we need to do is we need to try to simulate this combat. And I'm trying to think what would be the best way of doing this. So we have the turn manager here. So we've got combat started. Turn executors. Let's see. Where's this turn executors being done? Clear and register executors. Register turn manager. Register opponent board. Okay. So we're going to need to do probably a lot of this stuff in here. So I think what I need to do is create like a dummy player board, which doesn't need to be anything special. So I'm going to add another board here. We'll call this like dummy player board, and we'll just set that to invisible so it doesn't do anything. So we've got the dummy player board. We may as well add... Well, we need to register the board, I guess. Excuse me. So board manager register board. Board manager dot register board. Dummy player board. Okay. And then in here, register opponent board. Okay, so I think that should work. So we're getting all the registration in place. I'm also going to do... Let's just make sure that this is null safe here. I'm just going to go ahead and add a board placement lock to dummy player board. Just to lock it down. I don't think that's going to be a problem, but... So we set up all this registration here. And then what we can do, I think, is we have a turn manager. On auto-resolved requested. So I'm going to need a way of controlling this combat started, combat ended stuff. I have an update on my books if okay with you. Yeah, for sure. For sure. So we don't want to trigger any of this stuff either. So process turns is happening when? We're going to do process turns. How do I want to do this? Health component. I almost want to do something like public void simulate. And maybe this should return the turn histories. All right, I'm trying to think of what I want to do here. So simulate, maybe what I want to do is for I equals 0, I is less than 20, I plus plus. We want to do process turns. And maybe we return a list of turn history entry. So what we're going to need to do in here is combat ending. Okay, so maybe I don't need to worry about all that stuff. Maybe I can just go ahead and process the turns. and return the turn history. I need to register the turn executors. Clear and register turn executors. Player board turn executor. Okay, so I do need to do this. Okay, so let's go ahead and add a turn manager in here now. Put the turn manager there. We'll grab it. Turn manager, okay. Turn manager register. Clear and register executors. Those. Don't really care about the dummy player board turn executor component, but we're just trying to set up the stuff. And then we can do turn manager dot simulate. Let's just put a breakpoint here and see if that much works. And then we'll figure out how to extract all that information from the turn history entry. Combat log manager. Okay, we need to fix that. So we fixed that. Emit turn context created. Turn context created. Where is this being done? Yeah, I probably don't want to do that. So all right, this might be a little bit messy, but it's okay. We'll do process turns. We won't do this unless we're not simulating. Okay. Let's see what that does. It's time for Game Dev once again. Yes, indeed. Welcome back, Jackie Daytona. Good to see you. Hello, Emerson. Welcome back. Welcome back. Okay. On turn tick. Why is this being emitted? No. Do turn tick. Do I need to add is simulating to this as well? Okay, turn executor component. Do turn tick. If not, turn context.is simulating. We'll do that. This is going to be a little bit messy, but that's okay. Okay, let's try it again. Hello, Kusei, welcome back. Good to see you. That didn't appear to break anything. Let me think. Yeah, I want to debug this and just make sure that stuff is coming through. Entries. So we should have 20 entries. And we have all of the damage dealt entries, status applied entries, so on and so forth. Okay, cool. These are turns. I may have to do a larger turn sampling, but are there no entries in any of this? Oh, I'm gonna have to figure out why I ended up with totally empty everything. Okay. Oh, it's probably simulating. Right, it's simulating after the board configuration, so I need to actually do this. Set combat configuration and then simulate here. So it was simulating the board combat without anything on the board, which would have been a problem. So we'll place everything on the board and then we'll simulate it for 20 turns. Have you always used C# with Godot? No, not always. Sometimes I use GDScript for game jams and whatnot. All right, let's see. Do we have anything? Here we go. Card abilities executed. We have damage dealt entries. Let's see. Damage dealt entry by card. Initiator board, receiver board. Type is heal. Okay, very nice. So it looks like the simulation is working. So it's basically just running the card combat logic, but in sort of like a sandbox kind of thing, just to get this data here. Okay, so we've got that in place. Hello, Arion, welcome back. How are you doing? What is the best game engine for you in 2D games? Obviously Godot. Has to be Godot, right? So I guess we could just go entry by entry. And lay out all that information. So let's go ahead and do private void. Show simulation results. Okay. So we've got a VBox container here. Add a label. We'll just go ahead and we'll make this pretty sloppy to begin with, and then I'll figure out what to do with it. Hello, Neozoid. Welcome back. Yeah, well, I'll figure out what to do with this. Let's see. Then we're going to need a rich text label here. This rich text label is going to need to be BB code enabled, fit content. Okay, and then maybe we'll change this margin container. Custom minimum size 128. We'll just leave that alone for now. Okay, rich text label. Let's mark this as a unique name. So an entry is a turn history. So we got entry dot I'm trying to think of how I could get overall data here. Damage type. We have damage type, physical, fire, necrotic, poison, shield, heal, and holy. I almost wonder if I should do something like turn history entry. Try something here. We have abilities executed, damage dealt, entry status is applied. So get overall, let's just do get overall report. Maybe I'm gonna want something like this. Damage dealt entries, but this has receiver board and initiator board. I think I need to pass in the self board and the opponent board here. Entry.initiator board and receiver board. Okay. Damage to opponent by type. Probably also going to want damage to self by type. I don't want this. var status is applied to opponent. Status applied entry. We just have the receiver board. Initiator board is player, receiver board is player. Oh, that's not going to help. Receiver is player board. Modified context receiver board equals player board. That doesn't help. That does not help. We might have to change that. Guess it doesn't really matter. Status type is what? Oh, it's a literal type. Okay. That might be enough. Public record overall report. Damage to opponent by type. Damage to self by type. We do required for all these. Status applied to self, status applied to opponent. Okay, cool. Let's change this to overall report. Return new overall report. And we'll do this. Okay. So now my board inspector here, we're going to do var overall report. Oh. I might need to do like public. Oh gosh. How do I want to get the overall report across all the entries? I'll just assume the AI was correct on that. It's a little bit ugly, but that's okay. Overall, okay, so we need to do... We don't want to do this. Get overall report. This is reversed. This needs to be board, dummy player board, board, dummy player board. Okay. Let's just see if this works. Show simulation results. So I should be able to get a nice merged set of data, which I can then display in the UI in some way. Okay. Damage to opponent by type. Physical, 20. Damage to self by type, 0. Status applied opponent, status applied to self. Okay, let's see if that's correct. Deal 10 damage. Increases critical chance of allied minion cards by 5% for 1 execution. So the crit chance is going to be a little bit weird because it's going to create a different number every time. But I guess that's okay. I guess that's okay. So yeah, I mean, that's accurate. So over 20 turns, since this has an 8-turn cooldown, it's only going to go twice. It's going to deal 20 damage. Now I may end up... Oh, and this doesn't even target a minion, so this won't do anything. So the numbers may end up being slightly different every time you do the simulation, but I think that's okay. Damage to self by type, heal. Status applied to opponent, status applied to self. We have a total of 4 holy applied. So let's make sure that's correct as well. So yeah, so these are only going to go twice in a 20-turn window. And that's 4 holy. So yeah. And then heal, so we could do 3 healings in 20 turns. So that's 9 healings, so that's 18. Yeah, I believe that's correct. I believe that's correct. Okay, cool. So now we need to actually take that stuff out of the report and get that into... Get that into text form here. How close for the release? I don't know, maybe, I don't know. I was hoping by, like, summer sometime, so we'll see. That gives me 3 months. I mean, yeah, it depends on a lot of factors, honestly. Sometime this year, for sure. Sometime this year. All right. So now we actually got to show this data in the text here. So how do I want to do this? New label is equal to rich text label dot duplicate. This damage type, where is this being used? Oh gosh. Combat log manager. Damage type to string. Damage type, damage type. That is not helpful. Damage type dot fire. Damage type dot heal. I actually don't know how this is going to end up looking, so we'll just get it roughly working and then we'll see. Okay. This needs to be a string. Okay. Damage type to string, damage type. This is going to need to change based on whether this is damage to opponent by... We're going to have to make a special exception for like if damage type equals damage type dot heal. Then we need to say rich text label dot text is equal to healed opponent by Is that right? Can I do holy damage like that? Yeah, that's fine. Oh, this needs to be new label. My VS Code is slowing down. Let's just restart that. Okay. So we need to get this VBox container as a unique name here. Node private VBox container. VBox container. Okay. Let's just see if that much works. And then we'll see. Oh, were those playing those animations too? Oh, they played their animations. Very interesting. It's not adding the text. Oh, because I'm not setting it to visible, right? Okay, let's try this again. We're gonna have to stop those animations from playing, obviously, but I'm sure there's a way to do that. Oh, the bleed is a problem. So the player board... Oh. The player board for this purpose is... Now I'm worried that this is not going to be super clear. The player board is empty for the purpose of simulating. This is supposed to be just like a overview of what's happening. But with the fox, you know, this fox deals damage based on the number of 1x1 cards you have. So I may need to come up with something for that. Those effects obviously don't need to play. Anyway, this needs to be highlight keywords. And then description utils dot highlight keywords. Dealt 12 damage. Okay, we need to get the status applications in there as well. Damage to self by type. So I need to do damage to self by type as well. This is turning out to be somewhat of a pain. Amount is equal to 0, continue. Okay, so now we need to do private static string status type to string. Status is applied to opponent. Yeah, it's just a type, so we just take type. If type equals type of fire status, type of poison status, type of shield status, type of stun status. No, that's not right. Holy status. What else? Oh, bleed. Okay. This will be amount. Status type to string. Let's see if that works. Holy is not in there. Oh, because I'm not getting the self. So we want to copy this and do statuses applied to self, applied to self. Basically just copy this. We're going to do damage to self by type, damage to self by type, healed, dealt to self. I'm sure there's a way to simplify that. There's a little bit of copy pasting going on there, but that's all right. And actually, I might want to move this status stuff to be the first part. So I think I should be capturing everything now. There's just a couple of problems here. Applied 4 fire, dealt 3 damage, dealt 6 fire damage. Applied 4 fire, dealt 20 damage. Applied 4 preserve to self, so that one needs to change. Let's just do var is shield. Am I allowed to do that? No. Okay. Has your question already been answered? Yes. Yes, it has, Neozoid. The answer was sometime this year. Okay, let's just do some changes here. Board container, let's not hide decorations. Let's change this margin container here. We're gonna give this bigger margins. Okay. We'll change the panel for this too, I'm sure, but we gotta fix a bunch of things with this. Over 20 turns, applied 4 preserve, okay. So we got a VBox container here. Let's add another VBox container. Change this separation to 8, maybe 12, maybe 16. So we'll do this, we'll let the combat encounters get upgraded here. Okay. Over 20 turns, applied 9 bleed. Dealt 30 damage. Okay. So yeah, I might want to make this account for the player cards as well. Those animations shouldn't be playing. So some of these numbers are changing sometimes, probably due to crit chances and whatnot. So yeah, this will give you a much clearer idea, hopefully, of like what's going on here. I hope this doesn't make the game too easy, but we'll see. We'll play test it. Okay. I mean, I think I can work with this. I think I can make this work. We just got to get those animations to not play, that's all. Okay. So we'll fix that. What else needs to be done? I think let's experiment with actually filling the dummy player board with cards. I need to figure out how to do that. Create artifact context. Okay. All right. How am I going to get it to simulate against a player board accurately? That is a good question. Well, anyway, let's go to the effect player component. So is auto-resolving. We're going to change all this stuff, I think. Status component. Let's do something like, instead of here, let's do should animate equal, or let's do not is auto-resolving. Okay, and then let's look for wherever is auto-resolving is used. I wonder if it would be easier to... Let's see. In my turn executor component, wonder if I shouldn't use the is... I mean, I should use the is simulating for sure. But wherever this is set, let's see. Should I do that? Is auto-resolving or is simulating? I don't know, maybe that'll be safe. Let's see. That should pretty much stop all the animations and stuff, I think. Hopefully that stops all the animations. Okay, it seems to have worked. We're still ending up with this kind of thing, though. So we need to, like, reset the state wherever that's happening. This is being called where? And on combat ended. Okay. So I think what I need to do in my board inspector... I think if I do reset all state there, this is going to be a mess. Oh my goodness. And I still need to figure out a nice way of duplicating. Because like I said, it's using the same combat configuration under the hood as what you would encounter when you visit the node. So I definitely don't want to do anything... I definitely don't want to do anything that's going to, like, persist data. That board is still playing the heal animation, though, so I gotta figure out what to do about that. Ugh, this is a mess. Well, let's see. Board configuration model. Board configuration model. Probably want to be able to duplicate this. So I could write a quick duplicate method for this. Public board configuration model. Duplicate. equals card positions to dictionary entry.value. This is a shallow duplicate for now, but I think I can probably, I don't know, hopefully it's going to be easy to duplicate a card. Board dimensions equals board dimensions. Okay. So we have shallow duplicate here. Let's do card composed abilities is equal to composed abilities.select x.duplicate and chance.select x.duplicate. Projected composed abilities so actually maybe I do want like a deeper duplicate. Because this shouldn't carry over the projected composed abilities, because those are going to be reconstructed with a true duplicate. I think the reason why I'm shallow duplicating this is for the purposes of the card inspector. So bringing over those projected composed abilities so I can actually see those in the card inspector, but with a true duplicate, I'm basically going to ignore that. And then we're just going to do composed abilities.select x.duplicate. All right, am I missing anything? I don't think so. Maybe it's as simple as that. Hopefully it's as simple as that. So we go to the board configuration model, we do duplicate here. All right, so now if I go to my board inspector, I can load this, duplicate. But what I can do now is I could do this.get board manager.get player board. Board inventory component to board configuration model.duplicate. Wow. And then we do dummy player board, load board configuration there. Maybe we'll do the .duplicate in here just to be consistent. Well, hopefully that works. Let's see what happens. So that, at the very least, that should break the references from being shared, hopefully. So that appears to work. So if I put poison damage here, and I go to Sage, that will say heals 6, but if I remove the poison damage, go here, yeah. So this Sage is healing based on poison applied, so that heal is only showing up when I have this in the board. So that appears to be working. And now, actually, one thing that I don't need to do now is I don't need to do this anymore, since those references are no longer shared. Okay, perfect. I'm not getting any buff applicators applied here, though, so I need to log the buff applicators as well. So we'll have to do that. Let's see. So we're logging those things. We need to disable then I also need to add drawer animation, improve layout, so on and so forth. But it's getting there. I should probably put the health value and currency value as well on that screen. So this is a fairly big thing, but all things considered, I think that was relatively straightforward. Yeah, I can't really complain about that, honestly. There needs to be a bunch of work to clean this up, of course, but like I said, all things considered, it went relatively smoothly. Hello, Johan, welcome. Good to see you again. All right, so I want to see what this looks like if I do set enemy strength 100. And let's just go here. Cool. I'm up late running a big DB migration. It's taking a long time. That's kind of painful. DB migrations are a little bit annoying to babysit because it's like it's the anticipation of like, is it going to work or not? So anyway, I'm going to take a quick 3-minute break, and when I come back, we can either keep working on this, or I'm thinking maybe it would be fun to create some content or create a new card or something. So we'll see when I get back, but I'll be right back in 3 minutes and we'll continue on. Okay, I'm back. It's a bit nerve-wracking, and I'm still on a bit of sleep debt from the move, so it's not ideal. Yeah, that's not good. That is not good. All right. So what do you all want to see? We could maybe do another card. Is there an interesting one to work on here? Let's see. We need enemy cards. Which idiot. I mean, let's go to my card inspector. That will help. Card inspection tool will run this. All right, let's look at the enemy cards. And we've got a lot of heal. We don't have any... There are no enemy damage shield items. That's interesting. No self-critical chance. Unspecified. Confuse. Exhaust. Paralysis. So we're missing a bunch of... We're missing a bunch of things here. Ability projector. So we could basically do anything, honestly. There's only one enemy card with Echo. No poison. I don't think I'm going to give enemy cards poison. I think it would just make sense for them thematically not to deal poison damage. We don't have a whole lot of shielding either. And we do have a lot of damage, so that's good. So let's take a look at what we've got here. Anvil would be a good one. A buckler. Chainmail. I already did this one. Well, we can give an anvil a shot. I think that will fit in pretty nicely. So in progress, we'll do anvil. Okay. So how many 2x1 cards do we have on the enemy side? We don't have a whole lot of 2x1s. I was thinking anvil might be good as a 2x1. We don't have a lot of 2x2 cards either. I mean, I guess we do. Okay, let's just create a new one. Card creation tool. Anvil. Create. Oops. I completely flubbed that, I think. Let's get rid of these. Oh, I should probably commit this too. Okay. Assets. Card. We have to get rid of this anvil now. Okay, let's try it again. Let's not mess it up this time. 2x1, anvil, create. There we go. Now we can open up a sprite. All right, load default palette, and we're off. All right, so how do I do this? Let's see. Something like that. One second here. I'm going to look up a picture of an anvil. This side. Oops. Yeah, that'll work. And then something like that, maybe. Yeah, that should be fine. I think this is good, but it needs to just be... Maybe I'll just make this a continuation of that. Is that going to work? Oops. Maybe not. Something like that. I don't know about this one, but we will figure it out. Hello, Sunset Knight. Nice editor tool to bootstrap cards. Thank you. Yeah, it's nice. Why don't I already have an anvil in my game? Yeah, the answer is pretty simple because they're actually pretty hard to draw. For me, anyway. I still struggle with getting like metal textures to work properly. Like, there's just something off about this. Like, I feel like this needs to be darker down here, but then it doesn't look right. Yeah, this just isn't looking... It's not looking good. Okay, let's just get rid of this. Yeah, I don't know. Any tips, tricks for a solo dev trying to keep scope small for a TTRPG roguelite? My art skills are near non-existent. I'm still very much struggling with the game design logic. Yeah, that's a good question. Any tips trying to keep scope small? Well, one thing that you can do to keep scope small is like come up with one mechanic and then try to make everything in the game revolve around that mechanic. So I'll do that for game jam games, or I'll try to anyway. So you just come up with one core mechanic and then you just try to make literally everything in the game work with that mechanic. That's a good exercise because it helps to keep the scope small, but also that is like a massive design constraint, which causes you to think more creatively, I think, about a lot of things, about your game design. Wow, I cannot draw an anvil. I don't know what to do to make this look good. All right, let's look at something else. I might have to redraw this whole thing. So I'm looking at anvil pixel art now. Maybe something more like... Yeah, I don't know. Oh, yeah, this one. That one looks nice. Okay. That one looks nice. So we could try just creating like a boxier shape maybe. Okay. Okay. I still don't know about this. Kind of back to where I started. We'll just take it one step at a time, I guess. Oh, that looks kind of good. Okay. Do I just go ahead and do the white all the way around, maybe? Well, I don't really know. The problem is I can never get this purple to look right with the blue. Maybe if I just made this side like much darker. Maybe not though. I mean, I think it's all right. It's not like super compelling. Nope. That's actually pretty helpful. Thanks. You're welcome. I think maybe the anvil needs more of a base to it. Well, I'm drawing it so it's kind of like cut off at the bottom. I mean, it's fine. Is there a different color I can use? It's just, I don't think this purple goes very well with the blue at all. This is why I held off so long on drawing an anvil. Well, we'll just goof around a little bit and see if I can make something work. I don't know. I don't know what to do with this. I think the shape is good. I just don't know how to make it work with the colors. I don't know how to make a metal texture all the way through. No, that's not working either. Well, I don't know. I think the shape is all right. If I do this... Better make it down. Get off the router, Shurima. Get down. Here, you wanna go out? Oh, animals. Huge improvement compared to where you started. Thank you. I think the purple works well for a hard shadow. I think it looks nice. I mean, maybe I could just call it here. Maybe I don't need to worry about it so much. Yeah, I don't know. It's just this big glob of flat color. It's kind of messing with me. Yeah, I don't know. It's looking weird to me. Doesn't look right. It does not look right at all. All right, well, we'll chalk this one up as a failure. I'm gonna have to take another look at it at some other time. Yep. That happens sometimes. Sometimes it just doesn't work. I'm still an artist in training, so not everything's going to work out. That's okay. Like I said, I think the shape is good. Like, I could see an anvil here. I just don't know how to make the colors work. Like, this is not conveying metal at all. This section here. This section is okay, but I feel like it could be better at conveying that it's supposed to be metal. And so far, it's not doing that very well. So I'll have to play with this some more. But we'll commit that. Evening stream, let's go. Hello, Matthias. Welcome back. Maybe try spreading out the shadows in lines similar to how you did the highlights. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I have to think about this. I'm not going to get anywhere with this right now. But anyway, sorry to those of you that just joined, but that's going to be the end of the stream for this evening. I'm going to go relax, take a break from this for a bit, and maybe come back to it later tonight, but it goes that way sometimes. Not all the art is easy all the time. But anyway, thank you all for watching. Thank you for being here. Again, you can support the game by wishlisting Alchemortis on Steam. You can also check the links in the description below for all the ways to support me. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for being here. Very much appreciate all of you being here and chatting with me. And I actually probably won't be streaming tomorrow morning. Something came up, but I'll try to do a stream in the afternoon. So join the Discord to be notified when I go live. Otherwise, hope you have a great evening, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye-bye.